Well, hi. Today is Thursday, April 2nd, 2026. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Did you make it through yesterday without any practical jokes played on you? I saw a few that were online, nothing too serious, but I've never really understood the whole idea of pulling practical jokes on April 1st. I don't know, it's just one of those things I never really got into. My dad did. My dad loved to do that back when he was still with us. But so, yeah, I think about him, but in some of the pranks that he pulled. But for me, not so much. I never really cared too much about it. What I do care about is what I'm doing here, podcasting, and being able to reach people through long form video like we are doing, and also being able to create short form video with that as well. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper in that today. Brought Kyle Ranney, my business partner, here in to talk about it, about some of the different things that we do, some of the things that you can do, and also an invitation to you that if you got any questions, even if it's something that you're wanting to do on your own, happy to talk. Happy to fill you in on what I know about the industry, and maybe we can get you off to a great start. Another way to get off to a great start is with some peace of mind, and My Nurse Healthcare provides professional in-home support where it matters most, helping individuals maintain comfort, dignity, and independence in their daily lives. Their experienced nursing team focuses on personalized care, clear communication, and supporting families through every step of the process. It's healthcare built on trust, compassion, and real relationships. Learn more at mynurshealthcare.com. Technology should be working for you, not against you. At ThinkSpace IT, they provide expert IT solutions to keep your business running smoothly and securely. From cybersecurity and cloud services to network management and tech support, they simplify IT so you can focus on what matters most. Stay protected, stay connected, stay ahead. Visit ThinkSpaceIT.com. Kyle Ranney back in the studio to visit with us again. Good to see you, young man.
And you got some new set items here, yeah?
Oh, yeah. This is actually something that my father had when I was a teenager, that
cool.
level, and still has his name on it. And he used that to build a lot of houses down in the Atlanta area. Even drug it up to Newport News, Virginia one time to build a Taco Bell. Pulled me out of school for that one.
Wow.
So it's just another way to remember my dad. And it's one of those things that just stuck with me, along with the thermos that's behind me, that just all the work that he put in and all the years that he put in doing that. So it's just a way to remember him. Got it here in the set, and but appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to talk some nuts and bolts today about podcasting and do a little bit of a deeper dive into the how behind it. I know that I get asked the question a lot about, how do you do that? Where do you post? What different ways do you? What kind of camera should I use? What kind of microphone should I use? I hear all of this stuff, and we thought we'd go into it a little bit today and just kind of share some information about what we have found works and some of our techniques of making all that happen.
Yeah, well, you need a camera, you need a mic, you need a light, and you need a set.
There
Good
you go.
Good news is we have 5 of those.
Yeah, we have all of those here.
5 different sets,
Right.
different cameras, a lot of different mics. So you need a place where you can do that. And we've built that right here in the heart of downtown Council Bluffs. And you can come in and record not just podcasts, but I mean, your whole need of video for your marketing plan can be done right here. Once a month for just an hour or two, and you're good to go. So.
Well, and we also will answer questions for folks that have an interest in setting one of those up for themselves, because I've had those conversations more times than I can count, really. And there is a way to do it without going the high route that we did. I mean, this is a way for what we're offering is a way for people to have access to the top of the line equipment. But I have seen it done even all the way down to just recording on an iPhone. I've seen it done that way too. Yeah. So ultimately, it kind of depends on what your goal is and what do you want to achieve with the podcast. If you're just interested in talking about how the Hawkeye-Husker game went and getting a couple of friends together and doing that, well, that's a different kind of deal than if you are producing something that ultimately you want to use for marketing, long form video and a short form video, which we've talked about before.
Yeah, and we primarily like to work with businesses and organizations that want to build awareness, have a long library of media, and start to build like a long-term plan to always keep people informed about what they're doing. Also, we preach that you cut down your long-form content into short-form content, and so you can make original short-form content to fit all those needs that you have. So that way you're not having to go reinvent the wheel every time. Maybe you wouldn't have to work with a social media manager who just plugs random ideas at you. You can come in here and be in a nice, controlled, calm environment and just talk about what you do with other people. Another big perk of doing the podcasting route is that you can't do it alone. So you need another industry expert with you or somebody that's like in an adjacent field to talk about how you guys work together, things
Right.
to look out for. And that's also helpful because then they share it too. And you get to build audiences together versus just, pushing on your own and helping people find it.
Right. There are some people that will fly solo and do one on their own. However, they're losing out on a pretty big networking opportunity if they're doing one for their business. If it's just a personal podcast and just stuff that you're passionate about and want to be able to talk about, yeah, it's fine. Sit down and talk into a camera. There are some tricks to make sure that you're coming across in a good way. One of them is to sit still.
I struggle with that one.
These are things that I've learned. And a little bit of movement is fine, like this. But if you are moving a lot and in and out of frame, then that could be an issue.
Yeah,
so
sure.
learning how to sit still, which is something that I had to do when I started these shows. I am used to being very animated. When I was doing radio, nobody could see me. So in order to get the proper inflection, you have to kind of go over the top a little bit. And I am making movements, arm movements, head movements to create an inflection in my voice that would translate over radio. With television and video and microphones this way, it's not necessary. The video itself helps to tell the story along with the audio.
Yeah. And it lets you post in multiple places that, just doing an audio podcast wouldn't let you do. And then if you're just doing social, more traditional social media and trends, well, you're only getting stuff posted on just those 4 or 5 main apps versus when you do a podcast, you can get on all of those apps still. And then a ton of other apps, which help you with backlinks, SEO, lots of other fun, cool, technical stuff.
There is a way, actually, if you want to do just an audio-only podcast but release it as video, there is a way to be able to do that because I've seen people do it. Mark Maron is a comedian who's one of the original comedians that you've seen all of the different comedian podcasts that are out there now. Mark Maron is one of the first ones that got into doing it. And for a long time, it was just the audio with a logo on the screen. And then he created a video just running that logo solid and released it that way. And that worked for him for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I think that he was missing out a little bit because the visual aspect of it can add quite a bit. And eventually he figured that out. And there's others too that I saw. That Doug Stanhope is another comedian that used to do it that way. And now he has full video out. So, and that's just, those guys are kind of higher end, getting hundreds of thousands of downloads type of thing, which is, let's be honest, that's a different kind of beast than what it is that we do. We focus on small market. We focus on reaching people locally that for a business, these are the people that you want as your customers. So you're not getting watered down by views that are 1,000 miles away. We don't see that with what it is that we produce.
Yeah. Yeah, we basically only work with people here in Southwest Iowa.
Yeah.
So we have a few people from Omaha and maybe further away that come and visit us, further away the other way in Iowa. But yeah, our goal is to work with a lot of businesses and organizations right here in Council Bluffs and Southwest Iowa, help them build their businesses and amplify their marketing.
No, you talk about marketing. This is something that you and I have discussed multiple times on multiple platforms, that the way that we are doing things now is not just the future, it is the present. This is how people are consuming information currently. This is how you can reach people in a way that they want to be reached.
Yeah.
On-demand society. We're not in the stream of consciousness, traditional radio, television kind of broadcasting anymore. Everyone wants to watch what they want when they want to watch it. There's a TV show that just did a 6-episode run, Taylor Sheridan show called The Madison. They released 3 episodes and then a few weeks later released the second 3, all at the same time. That's the type of thing that is different than it used to be, because now people can watch it as they have time. Some like the binge watching, and they do it with podcasts too. They will go back and watch multiple podcasts at the same time in one sitting. Others, they get it just a little bit at a time, and they can pause it and go back when they have more time after that. This is how you can reach people now. And getting into this arena, my belief is that it's very important, because we're still young in it, but it is rapidly growing. I think you saw a stat that said over 50% of the overall population in the United States listens to podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's growing.
Yeah. I mean, and I think their secondary stat is most people listen to an average of 12 different shows, which is, that seems high to me, but I mean, I only listen to probably 6, but I'm a very frequent regular.
I'm at about 6,
So
I think, unless you count my own.
yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's a different kind of audience building than just trying to get likes and views on like social media. Like you're building a trustworthy trickle that's going to keep people with you for a longer time.
As an example, how many times has it happened that you were out somewhere and someone said, "Oh, hey, I saw you on the podcast"?
That's happened to me a few times.
Yeah. That happens to other people too.
Yeah, it does.
and that is just from being on mine, which has a local reach. Both the shows that I personally do are designed to be right here locally. I'm not going to get a call from somebody in Massachusetts saying, "Hey, I just saw your podcast." That doesn't happen, because the algorithm doesn't push it out to them, because it's not designed for them. We use that algorithm in a way that benefits small businesses in the local area in which they are at. And we have found that there's a real benefit to it. And here's the cool thing, because this is something I heard you talk about earlier today before we got started. One of the shows that we produce is a veterans show, still serving Iowa veterans. And we see views from that a little bit further away. But the reason for that is a show designed for the state of Iowa, not just Potawatomi County.
Mm-hmm.
So the bulk, obviously, we get here because we've done a lot of interviews from folks in Pot County. But we see views from other parts of the state too, because the show's designed for that. So whatever your show is designed to do, you let the algorithm do its thing, and that's where you're going to get the views.
Yeah, and then another strategy we use too is we make that short form content out of your podcast, run all of those organically, and then usually the ones that do really well are also will do well as a paid ad.
Yeah.
So,
It's like a beta test.
Yeah,
really.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I've been shooting ads and social media ads for a while, and I think, I mean, I've been on a couple of calls this week, and it from what the industry is saying, you used to be able to shoot like 6 to 10, and that would get you covered for maybe a quarter or two.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to shoot like 20 plus to get the same kind of results.
Because everybody's there watching it, so they're seeing it faster. It used to take that long for the population to all see your ad.
Yeah, and the creative just runs out, and Meta's more expensive right now than it has been previously, and I know a lot of people are giving up on social media advertising. I think there's a better way to do it, which is our way versus doing it the other way. I mean, and a lot of I've helped a big brand here in Omaha that has 300 locations nationwide do this very same thing. They're producing a podcast first model,
mm-hmm.
and they're cutting it up, and they're doing exactly what we're doing because that works. And I mean, this is the brand that you've heard of. I am not going to disclose what it is. It's a $300 million brand, and they're using podcasting to promote their services.
Right. And there's a reason why this company got as big as they are.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing to always look at if you're trying to learn is find someone that's already done it, which I don't care what you're doing. Somebody's done it. And just kind of follow along with their model. I'm not saying copy them word for word what it is that they're doing, but take a look at what it is that works, such as with that company. Obviously, they see it. This isn't an experiment for them. They see the value because they're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And recording long form turned into short form. You can collect some nuggets in a long form conversation that probably weren't planned. And that is the authenticity that is needed to come across when you're in a short form when it comes to marketing. The more authentic you can be, and this is more true in a small market than a large market, the more authentic you can be, the more who you are comes across in those videos. And that is what your clients will relate to.
I agree, 100%. So
I get on these soapboxes.
yeah, it's
this,
okay. We
and,
both do.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
And it's works for just about any industry. I think there's very, very few that I've run across that, I can't really see how this would benefit you very much. But it's rare. We have someone here in town that started an international shipping company and had some fascinating stories to tell. But I couldn't really tell how a podcast would grow his company at all. And I told him that. I said, you're one of the few people that have ever sat down for an interview that I can't see it. But for most everybody else, from politicians to restaurant owners to real estate agents to just almost any business.
We're working with all those right now.
That's true.
We're using a podcast to promote a new development. We're using a podcast to help somebody run for state governor.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things, and they're very excited too. And then, back with the importance of having a guest with you, that the person running for governor is going to bring on key people in different counties that are going to help him sway votes.
Yeah.
So, maybe earlier when I said you bring on somebody and you gain their audience, right? Maybe that didn't connect for you, but a more solid thing would be, I'm on this podcast with so-and-so running for governor, but you see it in all the political ads. Oh, they bring the guy in for the endorsement, and you're like, oh, cool. Well, so-and-so likes him. That's the kind of credibility you get by having different people on your show. And you can also extend that credibility to them as well. So it's something that you can kind of grow together. And then, a lot of people go on, it seems like on the big podcast, somebody will go on a big, I call it like a loop. They go on a podcast tour.
Yeah.
So you can catch so-and-so on 4 or 5 different shows.
You've seen some of those people,
and a lot of it's the same, but you get a little different. You get different information out of each one. And so the people I've watched, multiple interviews with the same person, but on different shows. So that's something you can do with your business. If you're a plumber, you can bring on the rebuild crew that you like working with. You can bring on somebody who refers you a lot because maybe they do the restoration, they just do the cleanup, but they don't do the plumbing work. Or maybe
bring on an electrician that you have worked with and liked that is reliable, and
bring on the senior living home that you frequently work at. I'm thinking of somebody specific. he probably knows who.
Yeah, he's already doing a podcast.
Yeah, he already does a podcast here, so we don't need to sell him. So I'll just say, but that's the thing. It's more than just doing a podcast. It's more than being able to clip it up in a million different pieces and use that for short form. It's a building of your business tool through networking and connections.
Mm-hmm.
And referrals. So,
and you would talk too about how many different podcasts people listen to. Oftentimes, those are in the same industry, and the podcasts that I listen to have mostly to do with business coaching, and I don't just listen to one. And I see these people on each other's podcasts. Technically, you can say they're competing with each other, but I think of Eric Thomas was just on Ed Milet's podcast. Both of these are inspirational speakers, both of these guys. But, Eric went on Ed's podcast to talk about what it is that they do, things they have in common, different approaches, things like that. That's how this works. It's not just, it's like saying that if someone likes to watch television shows, they only watch one.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They watch a lot of them.
I learned this in a cohort for international documentary makers, but everyone's always like, well, somebody's already made one on that. So how many documentaries have you seen about World War II? Or how many documentaries have you seen about the little girl who fell down a well?
I remember that.
90s?
That was the reason CNN got started.
Yeah.
Because they needed 24-hour programming to cover that.
Well, they just made another one, and it won multiple awards. Or every 3 or 4 years, I like the war history ones. So they re-released a World War II documentary on Netflix, and I thought it was just incredible. The best one I've seen, even though I've seen probably 50.
How about Loch Ness or Bigfoot? Or
yeah,
there's all of these different documentaries on the same subject, and so it's already been done. So that doesn't matter because it's a different audience, and it's going to reach people in a different way.
And you're telling the story a different way.
Yeah. So don't let, just because someone else has already started a podcast in your industry, to think that there's no value to you. There is additional. It adds together. You're not taking views from each other. That's not how it works. You can have multiple real estate podcasts and be on each other's shows. That would grow everybody's. I look at the comedy world as kind of blazing a trail for a lot of us. And you look at all of the different comedians, top comedians, all doing their own podcast and all appearing on each other's podcast and continuing to pump out content all the time. Are you bored with it? Did Rogan hit number one and then quickly go away, even though he's basically doing the same show every day, just with a different guest? No, he's still up there, right up there at the top. Mm-hmm. So...
Well, he brings on the same guests over
and he brings on the same guests over and over. A lot of those same
updates.
Comedians or, other nationally known people. I mean, that's his audience. We're not working in that field yet. I do think that
I'm not that funny, so
don't sell yourself short. But if you have any questions about getting a podcast started, and listen, I'll be honest with you, even if you're wanting to do it on your own, I would be very happy to share the information that I have with you. Take a look at how it is that we have things set up here. Come up, take a tour, and we will show you some of the different things that we have. And maybe it will inspire you. Maybe you'll have an idea for your own podcast. Maybe you'll have an idea for someone else in a like industry that could be doing one. And we'd love to talk about that. So that's...
Yeah, reach out. Send us a message. Drop by the... People drop by the office all the time.
Happened more than once.
Happened today already.
Yeah.
So probably is going to happen again today.
Yeah, I think that and chances are I may try to talk you into being on the show. I mean, that's happened more than once too. Yeah. So I am excited to get to talk to you. So Todd at localstreammedia.com, Kyle, localstreammedia.com. You can even reach out to Carlene at localstreammedia.com. Any of us can answer questions for you and be able to give you some options as to how you can get that started. So there you go.
I'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good. A laid-back spot with great food and even better company is the Mile Away. Old Lincoln Highway, north of Council Bluffs. I was just out there for dinner on Tuesday. This family-run bar and grill, your go-to for mouth-watering wings, unbeatable weekly specials, and a welcoming atmosphere that feels like home. So stop out for one of those specials. They open up for breakfast through the week at 8 a.m. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It is the Mile Away. They've got you covered. Follow them on Facebook for the latest events and specials. The Mile Away, where great food and great people come together. And Morning Coffee, supported by Bryce Taylor and GLI Insurance Group, serving Council Bluffs, Tabor, and Clarinda. We've reached spring, and this is a great time to take a few minutes. Make sure your home, vehicles, and anything you're pulling out for warmer weather are properly covered. Bryce and the GLI team live and work right here in our communities. They're always happy to help you head into spring with confidence. GLI Insurance Group, local service, all seasons. So, any questions about podcasting? Send me an email. Get a hold of us, Todd at localstreammedia.com or Kyle at localstreammedia.com, and we can go over it, see what your project is, and see if there's any way that we can help make that happen. My name is Todd Studer, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.